So this book, Weapons of Mass Instruction, basically confirmed everything I believed about the school system. It's basically a sham. It doesn't teach you how to be a better individual. It teaches you how to be a better ward of the state, basically, because the school system is not to educate you. It's not to make you smarter. It's not to make you think better. It's not to do anything aside from qualify you to be a cog in the machine. And it's very disheartening because there's so much wisdom out there that can be imparted to people that can greatly improve their lives, but they'll never teach philosophy in a school because it's too dangerous. Think about it. Like Socrates, literally, they forced Socrates to drink poison because he was making people think for themselves. And this is very much the reason why I love learning so much, but I despise school. And it's so frustrating to me that I read this book and every word of it, I'm like, this made so much sense because my entire life, I've always been stimulated by interesting stories, by philosophy, by new ideas, by things that I just happen upon. But I've always been so bored in school and I never knew why. And this book really breaks it down as like our entire education system is based off of the old Prussian system, which wasn't about educating people. It wasn't about doing anything aside from strengthening the military and creating a sense of nationalism. And because of this, the humanity suffered. Because of this, it literally stopped so much growth. And I want you to think about it like this. Look at the architecture from the Renaissance. Look at the architecture from, even the old churches you see around in your city or in your town. Like, they are beautiful. Then look at a house that was built this year or last year. Like, I'm not talking about the mansions. I'm just talking about the average houses. Like, where did we go wrong? Like, honestly, architecture should have become better as we've had more wealth, as we have more means to, basically have air conditioning and food and shelter and whatever we need. Like, don't you think things should be looking nicer rather than worse? But you go to any major city and it's just crime and drugs and, homeless people that are literally look like zombies. Like, it doesn't make any sense why our education system is so great, yet we don't learn anything about the real world. We don't learn anything that will actually serve us in terms of life, in terms of business, in terms of taxes, in terms of personal finance. Like, why are we never taught any of these things? And it's because that's not the point of school. And it's so frustrating that the more I learn, the more I'm like, I would have never learned this in school. I'm currently reading Stoic philosophy. Stoic philosophy is basically applying philosophy into your life, using the logos, using logic to basically make your life easy and make your life something that you can always see the good in, that you can always take every experience and smile. And it's like, imagine if that was taught in school. Imagine what the depression rates in kids would be if they were taught to use their own minds to overcome their depression. But instead they're put on SSRIs, they're put on, oh, let's bring them to the guidance counselor. Let's do this, let's do that. Let's tell them they need to work in an office and have a career for the next 40 years. And then maybe at the end, they might just be rich. And it's just like, where did we go wrong? Like, what focus did we, what did we do? And I'm not saying this to be like a doomer. I'm not saying this to be one of those like Fox News anchors that's saying, this country's going to shit. We got to make America great again. Like, no, that's not what this is. That's literally not what this is. But this is just about understanding that we've been sold a bad bill of goods. We've been told that education is the true path to freedom, but it's not. Education can be great if you actually gain knowledge. But the way the system's set up today, there's no hope. There's no chance. Like, maybe there's a few fields that they do a good job. And maybe there's some schools and institutions out there, but that hasn't been my experience. And it's so frustrating as somebody that literally my favorite thing to do is pick up a book and read, that you can't even go to a classroom and have a educated discussion about a topic because people get so emotional that they're going to call you certain words. They're going to say certain things. And it's just like, you know what? Where has this world gone to? And the one shining hope I would say is that there's never been an easier time to access information. There's never been an easier time to get your hand on books. Like, Amazon has millions of books. You can go to your library. It's basically free to get a library card, check out books. You can go online. There's so many free resources. There's so many books that are in the public domain that contain great information. Like, it's never been easier to get your hand on information and your hand on knowledge. And stop relying on the school system to do it, because that's not the point of the school system. if you really want to understand why the school system was set up, read this book, because it really shows a lot of the drawbacks. It really shows a lot of the things that could happen for the school system, but they refuse to because they want to be an antiquated system that doesn't help people. They don't want to promote literacy. They don't want to promote math. They'd rather have the leave no child behind policy. They'd rather have high school students graduate that can't read at a 4th grade level. It's like, it's insane. And like, some of the statistics in this book will baffle you. Some of the things that you learn in this book are just going to dishearten you, but it only should inspire you more to go seek out knowledge for your own, because the biggest issue I see in most people's brain is that they think that they need to go to school to learn about psychology. They need to go to school to learn about medicine. They need to go to school to learn about engineering or science. And it's like, there are so many resources out there that you could just learn on your own. I'm not saying that you need to pursue any of these things to get a job in them, to make money off them, but pursue these things for your own interest. Pursue these things to apply into your own life and help yourself out, because the information is there. And the saying is so true: knowledge is power. Knowledge truly is power. If you know how to solve a problem and you can solve it efficiently, you can make money off that. You can gain wealth off that. You can make a name for yourself off that. But we're so eager to just rely on the school system to teach us about things. We're so eager to rely on the school system to, give us the qualifications that we think we need to get a job or to sustain ourselves. And it's just like, the more I read, the more I break out of this paradigm. And this book really did a good job to illustrate to me that, like, the thoughts I've been having my entire schooling career have been correct. Like, it's not to teach people. It's business. It's to promote nationalism. It's to promote certain ideas. It's an inculcation system. It's not an education system. It's not teaching you how to think. It's teaching you what to think. And if it really baffles me, I'll leave it on this point. So I'm in law school right now, and they call it the Socratic method, where they just cold call you and you kind of give your input. You kind of say the facts of the case and what it really means. But it's so inauthentic, because if these people understood the first thing about Socrates, they would understand that Socrates did not care about the details. Socrates did not care about precedent. He didn't care about this case happened, this or this. Like, he cared about the beliefs. He cared about the ideas. He cared about the why. He cared about why this is happening, why this decision was made, all of these things. He didn't want to teach you what to think. He wanted to teach you how to think, how to question, how to ask questions, how to argue. And it baffles me that we're sitting in a class and we're getting called on and we're told to tell the dates and why this happened and this, and it's such surface level, and it's so inauthentic, and it's so frustrating to me that the school system will use Socrates and they won't even do him justice, because damn, that guy was a great mind. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video. Thank you so much for making this far. I will leave a link to this book in the description. Very interesting stuff, very informative stuff, and disheartening, but at the same time, it's inspirational in the fact that it shows you that you should really be acquiring knowledge for yourself and not relying on a system to do it, because systems always inherently fail, but the individual has the ultimate responsibility of their own life. Thank you so much. Peace out.